please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
A very good morning. Welcome to Chartbusters. Well, the markets are bursting the charts as we speak. The banking stocks have moved to the high point of the day. You have stocks like SBI, Axis Bank, as well as ICICI Bank. All of them have moved to the high point of the day. The Nifty as well is up close to around 50 points. And the sensex now up 190 points. Pull up the Nifty bank. That's been the big mover in the last few minutes. You have a couple of these financials as well that have done well. India Bulls Housing Finance as well as Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, I think. That's the stock that's moved higher. Mangalam, good times with the Bulls, but we're going back towards that 10,850 odd mark. From there, we did a U-turn yesterday. So I'll be interested to see whether or not we can conquer that mark on a closing basis.
Absolutely. That is the big question that we need to keep an eye out on. But the one thing that really stands out is the pharmaceutical pack. All of them, since Friday, they've been on drugs or something. I don't know what it is literally.
Protection,
because Dr. Reddy's, that one's up 3% as we speak. Most of the pharmaceutical stocks are at the high point of the day. In fact, that's the question that we'll pose to Ashwani as well. Ashwani, the pharmaceutical index has outperformed all since Friday. What is your view on that one? And the sudden up move that we're seeing on the Nifty bank, what do you reckon this move suggests?
See, basically, pharma seems to have bottomed out because I believe there is some reallocation happening. When these sort of moves happen without any big news flow, it means that the incremental bad news is now not making new lows on pharma, and that I'm talking about on a weekly time frame. So once that starts to happen, the stocks are probably exhausted on the downside, and now we could, even a trading rally could be 50-60%. So that way, given that nobody has pharma, they are getting on board. On banking, you had almost similar sort of gains yesterday. You came off, but there is no follow through even on the downside. So like yesterday, by the end of the day, you had a negative close because long positions got cut yesterday. Today could be a positive day for the bank Nifty, and given that Reliance is also now moving up, you have IT, Reliance, banking, all moving higher together. So today the chance of crossing 10,850 seems to be a little better, but overall I think the best sector tailwind remains with the pharma sector. As far as individual stocks are concerned, I think ICICI Pru can be bought with a stop of 418, target of 440. Mahindra & Mahindra Financial is a buy with a stop of 485, target of 510. BEML is a sell with a stop of 870, target of 845. And I would think that Bank Nifty can be bought from here because it is finding support at lower levels, and maybe you could have another 50-70 points on the table.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Ashwani. Well, moving on, the race for Ruchi Soya continues. CNBC TV18 learns from sources that the COC, that's the Committee of Creditors, will open the revised bids coming in from Patanjali Group as well as Adani Wilmar later today. Ritu Singh joins us to run us through all those important details. Ritu, over to you.
Thank you, Nigel. Well, yesterday, the two bids from Patanjali Group and Adani Wilmar were submitted for Ruchi Soya to the Committee of Creditors. However, given that there were all the lenders were not present in the meeting, it was primarily IDBI Bank and a few other lenders along with the IRP. The bids will only be opened today, so we will know the final amount later in the day. The process that will be followed is an inter-se bidding via a Swiss auction method, which means there will be a winning bidder that will be declared, but the second bidder, that is H2, will be allowed to outbid the front runner, after which H1 will again be given the final say to match the competing bid from H2. In the first round, Patanjali Group was the highest bidder. It made an offer of 4,000 crores as compared to Adani's offer of 3,258 crore rupees, after which both the players offered to revise their bids Patanjali to 5,800 crore rupees and Adani to close to 6,000 crore rupees. But these second round of bids were not accepted by the CEOC because they decided to go with the Swiss auction method to maximize the value in this case. So now the final bids that were submitted yesterday are the only bids that will be considered, after which, the inter-se bidding will start between the two players. In the meanwhile, both the players have been writing to the Committee of Creditors, alleging that the other player is disqualified for various reasons. But that aside, it seems Patanjali was the highest bidder in the first round. The second round of bids will be known today.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for that. Just a word of caution for all the retail investors, irrespective of who the bidder is. The big question is how much of this will be there for the equity investors. And both Nigel and me have been talking about this over the last few months, that for Ruchi Soya itself, the finance cost has been higher than the company's market cap. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Before that, just take a short break, come back, and we talk about Ajmera Realty. That stock is buzzing in trade. Welcome back. Ajmera Realty is the stock which is buzzing in trade over the last two trading sessions. Remember, yesterday the company announced the acquisition of 5.5 acres of land at Electronic City, Bengaluru, through its wholly owned subsidiary. To discuss this and more, we have O.P. Gandhi, the CFO of the company, joining us on the phone line. Thanks a lot, Mr. Gandhi, for joining in. Now, the street is excited about the potential of this land that you've acquired, and also a land that you've acquired into a joint development agreement last week. So, together, I understand it's 5.5 lakh square feet in Bengaluru. Along with that, you have close to around 7 lakh square feet that you announced in Bengaluru last week. So, how much of that is it worth in terms of your revenue, and how long is it going to take for you to realize that revenue? What is the investment you are making?
Good morning, Mangalam. We have entered JV with a local partner in Bangalore, in Yelahanka. And second, we have bought outright land 5.5 acre in Electronic City. Total area will be developed 12.5 lakh square feet, and will be generating close to 700 crore revenue. Revenue will be generated over a period of 3 years, and we have funded both the project through internal accrual and partly debt.
Okay, so how much of that, if you could tell us the total investment you're making, how much of it is internal accrual, how much of it is debt, and how much are you borrowing at?
We are investing close to 100 crore, and debt will be taking close to 60 crore, and 40 crore will be from the internal accrual.
Okay.
And rate of interest is the very competitive rate of interest, close to 10.5%.
10.5%?
Yeah, 10.5%.
And the total debt on your books right now is?
Total combined debt in my books is around 500 crore, and most of the debt is working capital debt, and which will be repaid in 2 years' time.
Okay, and that 500 crores, sir, you're borrowing at what rate? So this 500 plus 60, your total debt in your books, including working capital, correct?
Yeah. So our average borrowing cost is 10.5%.
Okay. All right. All right, sir. Also, sir, the last time you were told us that you were looking at construction funding of around 200 crores. Have you received that? What?
We have been sanctioned by HDFC.
Okay.
And once as and when we require, we will be getting the disbursement.
Okay, this is a drawdown. Where as and when you require, you will be.
As and when we require.
So 200 crores has been sanctioned, and out of that, you will be gradually drawing down from there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Let's talk about your Mumbai business then, the Vadala, Aeon, Xeon and Trion. I remember the last time you said that Aeon and Xeon have been sold. 65% of inventory in Trion has been sold. So if you could run us through the details, how much have you sold at what realization, and what is the unsold inventory in the Trion project? What are the expected realizations there?
Yeah. Aeon and Xeon project we have launched in 2012 onward, and Aeon and Xeon combined is 8.5 lakh square feet.
Okay.
Out of that, we have sold close to 7.5 lakh square feet, and we have average realization was around 16,000 rupees per square feet, and now price is running around 20,000 plus. And in Trion also we have launched in 2014. We have sold close to 70%, and average realization on Trion was around 18,000. Our inventory is around 2.5 lakh square feet, which will be selling at 20,000 plus. We will be giving a possession of Trion in September 2019. Aeon and Xeon we have delivered possession last quarter.
All right, sir. So 1 lakh square feet you have at Aeon. That is at 20,000, so that's 200 crores, and 2.5 lakh at Xeon.
Trion.
At Trion.
Yeah.
That is at around 20,000 rupees as well.
Yeah.
So overall, you'll have finished inventory of around 650 crores?
close to 650 crores.
All right, Mr. Gandhi.
And if you see our cost in the Bhakti Park, land value is historical.
Yeah.
Average realization is 20,000 and still we have a 30 lakh square feet to develop in Bhakti Park.
Okay. All right, sir. All the best for the coming year, and all the best in offloading all of that inventory as well. Well, on that note, we'll slip into a short break. Come back, continue our focus on the markets. Stay with us. India Glycols, that's the next stock on our focus. After the stock, in fact, was added to ASM, that's Additional Surveillance Measures, or the ASM list. To discuss that and more, we have Mr. Rakesh Bhartiya, the CEO of the company, who joins us. Hi, Mr. Bhartiya. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Quick question. ASM list, India Glycols has been put in there. Any communication between y'all and the exchanges? Have you all been told why exactly were you all put in this ASM list?
Not really. So when we approached the exchange, I think the response from the exchange was there are, I think, some internal criteria which they have. And based on that criteria, it's not only India Glycols, but I think a whole range of stocks which have been put on the list.
So no communication as yet between you all as to why. All right.
And the only gratifying aspect is when I look at the list, including India Glycols, I guess these are companies which are which have done extremely well over the last financial year. Right. And the stock price also had moved significantly. So maybe that could be one of the criteria, but no formal criteria.
All right, so no formal communication of criteria from the exchanges, Mr. Bhartiya, but have you asked for them for some clarification as to how does one, how would your company get out of this ASM list? What is the review process like, and when is the review due? What is their response to that?
So what we understand is the review takes place at the end of the month. So essentially the month in which you are included in the ASM list. Typically, the review takes place at the end of the month.
Okay. All right. So by the end of this month, we'll know about that then. Sir, let's talk about business then. Last year, you did a growth of around 15% on the top line. You had some margin expansion. It was a pretty good year, actually, last year. For this year, what kind of a revenue projection can you give us, all your viewers, and the kind of margins we can work with?
So as far as top line goes, we are again expecting a growth of 15 to 20% based on the outlook for various businesses, primarily chemicals and alcohol. Separately, on the margin front, we are hoping to see some margin expansion, partially because commodity prices are up. If I look at year-on-year product prices. And separately, we are also currently benefiting from lower raw material prices, particularly on molasses.
So your last quarter margins were closer to 9.7% as against 8% in all of FY18. Do you think you can do anywhere between, say, 10 to 12%? What is the more specific target that you have as far as margins are concerned?
So I think I'm definitely looking at margin expansion, and it should be in double digits.
Okay, so more than 10%.
Logically, definitely.
All right. Very quickly, Mr. Bhartiya, you had some non-core assets as well. I think a couple of quarters ago, you had communicated to your investors. Are there any non-core assets in your business? Are you looking to sell some of them?
So we are looking to sell our sugar unit, which we had shut down about 3 to 4 years back. While we remain in discussion, but I would think that given what's been happening in the sugar sector in the recent past, there has been some slowdown.
How much can you get from there? According to you, what's the value you have in your books as of now?
So as far as we go, we've significantly written down that investment. So at the time of sale, I think any inflow that comes in would be cash flow positive as well as business positive for India Glycols.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Bhartiya, for joining in. Shareholders like the fact that you are looking to sell that, and you will get money. Whatever comes would be a bonus. 15 to 20% revenue growth as well as double-digit margins is what he guides as far as the business is concerned. With that, we've run out of time on Chartbusters. Stay tuned to CNBC TV18. Trading Hour comes up next.